hero's journey. My name is Anthony Pica, and this show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. It's great to be live with you on Monday. It is December 23. Very excited about this week and everything that's going on, and it's been an added bonus and an added joy because my family has been home and everything, and that's always absolutely wonderful. Well, as always, some wonderful things are going on, things are happening, but today I posted in the group a little bit earlier, I wanted to take a little different approach today and do more of a question and answer session about some things that, you might have about questions about voiceover, about business, about growing your business for 2020 and things like that. So as we go through this, I've got just a couple things to talk about. Please go ahead and post questions into the chat, whether you're on Twitter or whether you're in Facebook or you're on YouTube. Just go ahead and post your questions and I'll go ahead and take them and answer them. But I did want to talk about a couple of certain things that real quick before I get into the questions. It'll only be real quick. Some things that I saw, and great questions that came. That there was this really good question, and I'm just going to talk about it in general. And it's the idea that when we, and I did a video about this before, but when we look at success and success of other people, it can be very challenging to try for us and our egos to try to figure out why other people can, seem to be successful, whether it's faster or, they seem to leap ahead, even though, we're working super hard. And then especially when we dive into things and things that we're working hard on and we've spent a lot of time on, we, trying to figure out things and things that we know to be true, that it's tough to understand. And it bothers you, right? It bothers me. And I think in the end, the best advice that I can always give is, and for myself too, is that, we have to just keep going forward. There's always going to be someone who seems to defy the rules. There's always going to be someone who seems to, not stay within what is accepted as what we have to do or what we should do. And there's nothing wrong with that. And we should look to those people also to, as a good case study. But don't ever forget that you are the only person who is in control of your destiny. And we cannot change what happens with other people. All we can do is just keep pushing forward, right? I mean, that's really it. And it can be hard, but I want to tell you, moving into 2020, I want you to really try and just, focus in on what you can do on a daily basis, right? Put the blinders on, get the information that you need for you to succeed, and block out all of the rest. If it doesn't have things to do. Now, if there is something that someone's doing and you're trying to figure that out, that's great. Figure it out. But remember, we're all different too, right? We're all different. So, I mean, it's very hard to compare apples to oranges. We have to find the little things to compare that might be the same over a period of time or accounts. But anyways, I know I was being very ambiguous in this scenario, but I did want to just talk briefly about moving into 2020. Don't get discouraged about other people's success, right? And also remember, there is multiple ways to get to the finish line. And it's difficult to get to a place where, like, when someone gets there and we all want to get there. But I always like to try to get to a place and then be able to duplicate it. Does that make sense? Like, I don't like to get to a place and not understand why I got there. So I'm always trying to figure that out. And that's just a personal thing, right? Because and I think it's because I like to help people and I like to tell people and help them get to a place. So when I figure something out or when I get somewhere and I dive in and I go backwards and try to dissect what I did and what someone else can do, do you know what I mean? That's where I feel like I shine, and doing what I do. But there's other people who get to a destination on their own, taking a singular path that they took, and that's fine. So anyways, I just want to point out that, stay focused on your goals for 2020. Get the information you need, but don't pay attention, or let me rephrase. Don't worry about other people's successes. You know what I mean? Just keep your mind focused. All right, let's go ahead and answer some questions here. We've got lots of people popping in. All right, so we've got CB on YouTube. Did you get any work from VOCGO in 2009? Great question, and the answer is absolutely zero. I got nothing from VOCGO. I'm always a big supporter of VOCGO. I think they're doing great things. But from me, when I say great things, I have the inside track too, because, I know the CEO, Miles Chacoin, and I spoke with him. I speak with him regularly. We message back and forth, and he's in England, and, we've done podcasts together, and I know what he's trying to do and what VOCGO's trying to do. But at the same time, I know that, it is kind of one of those situations where, the U.S. business is not growing terribly right now for them, or it's beginning to grow. Because I have been seeing some voice actors getting shortlisted. I've not. It's so crazy, right? You never know, but I've not gotten shortlisted on there. But I know that they do not have a U.S. office. And Miles will be the first one to tell you that, their U.S. business is nothing like their U.K. business and stuff. So, and plus they really are focusing on, or they have a nice growing business around, jobs in multiple languages too. So, they're going to continue to grow in the United States. And, I'm going to continue to keep my eye out for them. But if you want to have the hardcore truth, no, I did not get any work from VOCGO in 2019. So, and subsequently, I've gotten work from pretty much every site that I have gone on to except VOCGO. So, anyways, okay, let's see. John, what's up, John? Scott, my man. Rich, what's up, buddy? Rich, some are better than others. Some are in the right place at the right time. Do not pay attention to others. Drive on. That's right, and that's true. When I got on Fiverr, not a lot of people were doing scary voiceovers for like Halloween. And then when I went into audiobooks, a lot of people weren't doing audiobooks, right? And then, so for me, but at the same time, that's me finding the cracks that weren't there. Same for you. You've got to find the cracks that aren't there because new things will come along. So that's a good point. Let's see. John, I think the best approach is not to compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to yourself. You can see how you are progressing, and ultimately, you are your own true measure. And that's true. That's true. Absolutely. Jim, when you are creating the videos for your courses, what software tool do you use? I actually use QuickTime. I use QuickTime. And the funny thing is that, because of all the equipment that I have, right, QuickTime works just fine. And that's just the general software that comes with my my computer, my iMac. However, what I'm using now is I'm actually using OBS, and you can create, and I recommend it, it's free, but I'm using OBS, and I have to tell you, using OBS, like even to stream and do things, the sound quality and everything is night and day different. Even when I was streaming live through YouTube, OBS, you can find that in the App Store, online, and it's fantastic. It's free, great software. I love it, and you can do so much stuff with it. But like I said, I stream through all these things through OBS. And those who remember when I first started trying, I tried this to begin with when I was first doing the streaming across platforms, it was glitchy and the sound wasn't great. And then as soon as I started using OBS, it just sounds incredible. So you can record through OBS because it's also recording, but I just use QuickTime as well, just because I can do a couple things on QuickTime that I'm used to. So that's all. Good question. Let's see. Sorry. Okay, next. Florian. Hi, Anthony. Do you have any advice for beginners with a strong accent? I'm from Switzerland. Absolutely. You ride that accent like crazy. You ride that accent like crazy. You play it up. Make it a part of who you are. Don't be afraid of it. Absolutely. Don't be afraid of it. Sites like VOCGO are great sites for you to be on. You know what I mean? Those are great sites. But sites like Fiverr are fantastic as well, because you have to remember, Fiverr is an international business. Yes, they have more, they have more English and English accents than anything else, but that's also a benefit. Now, if you want to go into, looking for more of a tone down, I think it would be also a really great thing to look into, depending on, since you say you have a strong accent, look into seeing how could you make it a little less strong as well, right? Maybe a little bit more neutral. Because you could probably get even more work, especially on, more of the, even American side, of the pond. You know what I mean? Like with a simmer down. I'm gonna say simmer down accent. Okay, but still, don't be, play that up, because there's definitely going to be some jobs, and then use it to your advantage. Look around, but it's always good to be able to offer multiple things. Okay, that's a good question. Let's see. CB, thanks for all the wisdom you provide, Vio. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Thanks, Chad. Too rich to miss. I feel like that's like too legit to quit. You remember that? Is it possible to offend or alienate potential clients by doing samples of projects that we may want to be a part of? I recently posted a sample on Twitter, etc., and was advised to be careful about this. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by this, but I'm assuming that what you're saying is, like, for example, if you do, I'll use a perfect example. I just did a voiceover for a company who is a marketing company, right? And they are trying to get business and get recognition from Jeep. Okay, they are not saying that they were paid by Jeep. They are not saying that it was sponsored by Jeep. They are trying to use this as a way to get business and to promote their services. All right, it is not illegal to do so. Here's the kicker. You cannot be using it, and I know this is weird, right? But follow me on this. You cannot use these things. You get in trouble when you start to pawn this off as work that is either being paid for by certain things or saying they hired you. But more importantly, you can't even really be in trouble for saying that. The biggest thing that you can be in trouble for, right, is either A, you are making money specifically from a brand and acting like you are that brand, or B, you try to you go to put out work, and like for example, in the theater business, a big issue is when you do work or you do auditions and stuff from work that's previous done, and then you do it for casting directors who were a part of that work. You know what I mean? They have they have something in their mind of what it already should be like. Does that make sense? So you can run into a challenge there. But, the reality is that no one is going to be upset with you if you are trying to show samples of work, of things that you could do. But this is important. It's important to be upfront. This is work that I've created. All right. No one's going to be mad at you for putting a recording of saying, I go to McDonald's. It's wonderful. Unless, you know what I mean? No one's going to say that. No one is going to be upset about it. I don't care what other people say. They're not. Okay. All right. And if worst case scenario, what are they going to ask you to stop? And you say, yeah, no problem. But if McDonald's comes to you and says, hey, we want you to stop promoting us, that's weird. That's just not going to happen. All right. However, just when I say a caveat, just keep your ears and eyes open. But I do it all the time, and I've not gotten in any trouble. Let's see. Hi, Anthony. Eric, I know you have a coaching service, so you are obviously the first choice. Beyond that, what are your thoughts about finding and using a coach? All right. So Eric, I I would say that yes, I am a coach and I would love to work with you. But I did a video about this too a while ago, and I would say that what you need to do is you need to find a coach that this is something I always find interesting. I always find a coach that I've done a lot of research on, and I feel like they are accomplishing what I want to accomplish. Like they are doing it. Like if I can't verify for myself that they're actually doing what I would like to do, right? I'm probably not going to work with them. But if I can, then yeah, I will probably work with them. But here's the rub. I never go into working with a coach with the idea that they are going to be the reason for my success. I go into working with a coach I bet on myself. And that's why I don't have a problem paying for it. See, I think a lot of people have issues or they're worried about investing money with a coach because, they're afraid that that coach is going to let them down. But for me, I always invest money in myself, and I've done the research on a coach so that the knowledge they give me, I'm going to take that knowledge and use it. So I bet on myself. Does that make sense? So that's at least how I work. Like right now, I'm working with business coaches. I'm not working with voiceover coaches. I'm working with companies on being a better business owner and growing my business, right? Because you know how I feel about business. So I do have a pretty expensive business coach. But anyways, the point is that to me, it's worth it because what it's doing for me is it's growing my business. Okay. So anyways, let's see. Let's move on to the next question here. Alan, I am using Audacity with a $40 snowball. Yes, $40 snowball mic. I remember. What do I list on a profile for equipment? Or do I simply ignore it until I can afford the more sophisticated setup? So listen, when I first started and I had that, it was not, I didn't list that because let's be honest, perception is key. So what I did say was that, I have a home studio and that's what I record from. Simple as that. Do you know what I mean? But in the end, you have to understand that you are still recording from a $40 mic. So when I started recording, my big thing was recording from, I did a lot of audiobooks where people they weren't asking me about my microphones and stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? But I always put down for saying that I record from my own home studio. Okay. So that's, that's what I did. So that's what I recommend you do at first too. Okay. All right. Switch. Hey, what's up, Switch? John, 2 questions. Is it easy to publish your own books via Amazon Publishing, not directly voiceover, and then produce your own spoken books for sale? I'm telling you what, John, I have my own plans in the future to do just this. I think after a while, you guys, and this is a great question for 2022, think about it, or in the future, we do work for a lot of people. We do voiceover work for a lot of people who are creating products, and then they have other people create it for them, and then they're getting the bulk of the money in the back end, right? Okay, because they're fronting it. But the reality is like you narrate a book, okay, but if you wrote the book and then you narrate it, yes, it is very simple to self-publish a book on Amazon. It's called Kindle. All right, Kindle Publishing. All right, it's like KDP. Well, that's Kindle Direct Publishing, and that's a program. But KP or KDP is where you would publish your book through Amazon, and then of course, once you do that. Once it's published on Amazon, then you go into your ACX account and it will show you, because once you have that, because it's all linked to your Amazon account, you can actually find your book, and then it will allow you to link that up to your account and then do the voiceover for it and choose. So instead of you getting 20% of the royalties for that, you'd get 40%. So honestly, it's not difficult at all to do either. I've not published my own book yet, although I have manuscripts ready and things that I've done and in the past and stuff, and I've worked with other people. It's a whole nother thing. Now I've done title. I want to get some art done for the things that I'm doing because they're children's books and stuff. But anyways, needless to say, it's not that hard when you have it and you put it through to actually go through Amazon. It's actually fairly simple. So good question, and a good thing to do, because you get to keep all of that, and then you can just promote it yourself and you know. Let's see, Judy, I get tons for old lady and German accent. Okay, it's good. John, I love OBS. Absolutely, OBS is fantastic. Switch, yep. CB, suggestions for sites that focus more on character voices. Casting Call Club is not good. Fiverr is good. ACX is good. Are there others? Any experience with Backstage? Okay, so the reality is character work, because of the nature of, in my opinion, how like all over it is and what can be determined as character work and what is not, as simple as apps, games, indie games, as opposed to, games like from Blizzard and just different things like that. I mean, the reality is all the sites you mentioned there are great. You should be on all of them. Backstage is fine. It's a paid source, and that is another source that you could add to your bag. But I don't personally use Backstage. But the character voices thing, I mean, it is one of those things where, depending on where you want to go with your character voices, a lot of it is going to depend on if you want to be in big games. Perfect example, though, is look at when my interview with Champenois, right, the guy from Disco Elysium, who subsequently won the game of the year, indie game of the year, right? And, we did an interview with him, who was one of the lead characters in the game, who was hired through VOCGO. All right. I have to tell you, that is something that is pretty cool to be able to get work that way. And what I'm saying to you is, this is the way of the world is going. It will continue to go through different places, especially because Disco Elysium wanted, and by the way, they flew the guy. I think he was in I don't know where he was. I don't know if he was in India, where he was, but they flew him to England to work. Disco Elysium did. They flew him out there to England to record this whole thing in the studio, but they wanted somebody who, had a specific accent. I know the person who was asking about the Switzerland accent, they wanted somebody that had his specific thing. He auditioned through VOCGO. VOCGO took care of it, and he is now, his career moving forward in video games is pretty good, because he's got that job. But you got to keep putting yourself out there, and you got to keep putting samples out there. There's millions of ways to go. One of the ways that you can control is by getting yourself, and I'm not going to go too much into this, but getting yourself popular online. All right. And a way to do that is kind of, I'm not saying I'm popular, but it's a way to do it like I'm doing. I put myself out there. I try to do things regularly. You can do that too. Your name, you got to understand, right? This whole game is a marketing game. So people are going to want to leverage your name as well. So the better you are, the more in front of, let me rephrase, the better you are getting yourself out in front of people, okay, the better you're going to be seen, right? And the more rep you have. So that's just a whole nother show, again, about the importance of social media. It's more than just getting that job up front. It's about building a reputation over time for yourself and your business, so that people can know you, and they can look you up and say, wow, this person, look at all the stuff they do. I could definitely work with them. All right. You know what I mean? It can be the thing that tips the scales. It's a good question, and that's a big question a lot of people have. Florian, all right, thanks a lot. Reminds me of Arnold using his iconic Austrian accent. Got to try that. Okay. Zach, thanks for everything. Merry Christmas. You too, Zach. Merry Christmas. Too rich to miss. Makes sense. Be upfront about it. Yeah. John Clark, thanks. I feel even more positive about my plans. Awesome. Greg, man, Anthony, you are by far the most down-to-earth fella I've run across. Thank you. Leroy, what's up, Anthony? Hey, I really do appreciate all the questions, really great questions that you guys are having. And I want to, again, thank you all for an amazing 2019. It has been a blast so far. And, we have a few more days, well, another week or so, and then we're going to be into 2020. And, I did I really suggest, by the way, that you go back and you look at the last video I did about planning for your 2020 year. I really think that can help you a lot. But again, I do want to point out, like I said in the beginning of this show today, that, please, 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 you are amazing. but there is your path is going to be unique. I mean, let's be honest. Your path is going to be unique. Think about it, all right? If you're watching this, most of us have done enough things in our life that we can go back and we can look at things that we've accomplished, right? And something that we tried that was hard and we accomplished it, there was definitely bumps in the road. There was paths taken that we didn't see when we first started. There was hurdles we had to jump over, right? There was things that we didn't know. We didn't even have a inkling of when we started, or we were going through it, but it came up and we made it through. And the constant and all of that, and the constant in this, and I want you to keep this in the forefront of your mind, is that you kept going. You kept going. You got to keep going. You got to keep moving steps forward, even if it feels like you're dragging a ton of bricks behind you. You got to keep pushing forward, because that's I'm telling you, that's when you wake up the next day and everyone's like, I don't understand. You're just so successful. How did you do this overnight? And you'd be like, I've been lugging this bag of bricks behind me for, years, but it just happens one day, and it doesn't even necessarily feel that way for you because you've been working and working and working, and that's how success happens. Okay? But you got to keep being constant and keep moving forward. All right? Keep being constant and keep moving forward. Let's see. Leroy, Dave G, why the RE20? I'm assuming you're talking about this. Well, this is my broadcast mic, so my editing station. Inside my whisper room that is behind here, I have the Sennheiser 416 shotgun mic, which is what I use for my voiceovers. This is what I use for broadcasting live and stuff like this to you. And I do my podcast and everything through here. I like this mic because I don't have the best treated space out here, and this is I'm out of the room. I'm not in the booth, so I like this mic because it's nice and sturdy. I have to get up a little bit closer to it. It does some really wonders to my voice, even with the echo and stuff in this room, and so that's why I like the RE20. Okay, good question. But I don't use this for my voiceovers, so I use the Sennheiser 416. BDoggy45, Merry Christmas. Joe, thanks for everything, man. Authoritative voice masterclass was fantastic. Awesome. I'm glad you liked it, Joe. Absolutely. He's talking about one of the courses I have, the authoritative tone. I'm going to be coming out with 5 more in 2020, like conversational, nurturing, different tones. And so far, the first one that came out was authoritative tone. But anyways, and last thing, if anybody doesn't have any more questions, the Fiverr Elite group, we met again yesterday on Sunday. We usually meet Saturdays, but yesterday was different because of the I had a family emergency and a memorial on Saturday, so I had to switch that. But anyways, it went amazing. If you are interested in growing your voiceover business through Fiverr, this group is fantastic. There'll be a link in the description here if you'd like to join, but you can also find it on my website, www.avosjourney.com, and love to have you. I think we have like 40 people in the group now, and it's wonderful to get everybody's perspectives. I go into helping, just showing you, we do lessons every day. Every time we meet, I go and review your gigs and answer questions, and it's all about growing your Fiverr biz. So great group to be a part of. Dave G, boy, you want to talk about these mics, Dave. All right, 416 versus NTG4 Plus. So all fairness, I have not used the NTG4 Plus. I've heard I've heard that the mic's good, but I just use the 416. That's just what I use, and I love it. I'm not saying that it's better or worse than the NTG4 because I can't speak truthfully about it because I've never tried it. So, but I just know that I love my 416. It does wonders for my voice. I love it. All right, so let's see. John, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to yourself and your family. Thank you, John. Can't wait for the other courses. Awesome, guys. Well, hey, listen, thank you so much. If you're on Twitter, please take a chance to retweet this and share it and like it. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Click that notification button. Also on Facebook, make sure you like this. I really, really, really do appreciate it. Yeah, Dave, I just wanted to be completely honest with you. I don't know anything about that other microphone, and it would be probably really like dishonest of me to say that there's any, like one or the other. I just know that I really do like my Sennheiser 416, and I love the way it makes my voice sound. So if you find a mic that is similar to that, then it is good. I know that the Booth Junkie did a video recently about a microphone that I think I saw part of that he said was very close to sounding like the Sennheiser, and it was like 1/4 the price. So if that's true, that might be something great to look into. And I really do recommend shotgun microphones, especially if you have issues with a space or whatever. I don't have issues with a space, but I just like the microphone because the warm, like the way it brings out my voice, and like the deeper tones in my voice or whatever, the way it makes it sound, it just really makes my voice, to me, it makes my voice shine. So that's why I really like the Sennheiser. But because I also had different microphones. I have different microphones, and they do not make my voice sound like my 416. So if the NTG4 does sound like that, cool. Sounds awesome. And if you find out, I'd love to hear more information about it. Message me or something. Or if you want to buy one and send it to me to do a review, I will. I'll send it back, of course. Let's see. Angela, thanks for all the information and inspiration. You are very appreciated. Thank you, Angela. Merry Christmas. Big Jim, what's up? B-Doggy, have you heard the tale of Cinco D2? No. I have not heard the tale of Cinco D2. Why is that familiar of me, though? That's the one. Yes. That's the one, right? That's it. Gotcha. That is the one that he said is similar to the Sennheiser 416. Yeah, and I think it's like $289 or something, whereas mine was $1,000 for the Sennheiser. But I do know that I just saw someone in the group saying there was a limited time offer for $799 on the Sennheiser. I don't know where that's at, but definitely, be looking to pick that up. But if the Cinco D2 is great, again, I'd love to, check it out. If you have one, send it to me, message me, and I'll do a review for it and give you a shout out, and I'll of course send it back. The Cinco is decent. All right, cool. Thanks, Dave. That video by Booth Junkie. Right. The Deity mic S mic 2 is similar. Cool. How to get DM to you? Well, you can simply message through Facebook. It's VOCGO.com or VO's Journey, or you can message me through Twitter or Instagram. It's all of VO's Journey. So just search for VO's Journey. But I've got this on, your comments on YouTube as well. So you could leave a comment on YouTube and that would work as well. I think you can find my email on YouTube also. Yeah, you can find my email address and my website and all the social media things. I'm on YouTube. Iato, sorry I'm late. No, that's all right. You got the Apogee. Cool. $249 on Amazon. I just ordered one. Nice, Rich. Tell us about it, man. Or like I said, send it to me and I'll do a review. Happy holidays, everyone. Will do when I win the lottery. I hear you. All right, you guys. Well, hey, listen, you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And I'm going to try to come on tomorrow. I'm not going to come on Sunday, of course, or Wednesday, of course, for Christmas. But I will try to come on tomorrow. I can't make any promises. But thank you guys again so much. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. I will talk to you later. Goodbye. Peace out.